I have always been scared that I will find the one after my countdown, that he will be right in front of me while I looked back. I always feared that the lenses that I sought my future through would be blind to your presence. A present, you. You have always been there, in front, behind, and all around, yet never in my face. It's as though you peeled away the layers, knowing my bare skin would glow its own kind of melanin. This same approach opened the way to the warm cheeks and soft embrace. It has always been you that saw into my crowned jaws, trapped in the penetrable boneless cage. It has always been you that made my cheeks swell and my belly burst, my permanent smile and my heart to pump. It has always been this level. This level where everyone was loud but next to you it was quiet, as though our eyes cancelled the white noise and you became my distraction, my one and only distraction. It was this level of intimacy I feared, this kind where our souls touched from across the room, where our hearts synchronized its beat to create the rhythm we both desired to shout aloud. The two of us, alone yet crowded, where the depths of me were searched yet never discovered. Where the small button loosened at the silk-like sound of your voice, could you be it all? This level of intimacy is into me, you see. The darkest corners and light ceilings there, the only glass ceilings became the fear that looked down at me. Could this really be the one? The one that would take me places I would yet discover, the places that I had yet to unlock myself a few levels deeper, then we'll reach that peak. This level of intimacy where our mind's frontal cortex were aligned on our hearts, opening a valve of breath, this refreshing air caressing the skin that yearned to touch, that would one day align with the two becoming one, to sink deep into the dreams that floated above this unity. This kind where our closeness causes my breath to quicken, scared at the next intake of air. It's this shyness that hid deep down, a scattered layers shaking the strategy that held it there. As the guards fell and my heart forgot its soul fragility, there the stagnant barrier broke. When my lungs' capacity overloads, the gentle air skips in time with the nervousness that floods my bloodstream. I have been and will be confused, how close you always were and how you'll always be. Yet I am afraid of losing you before getting a piece of you. This peace that solved a puzzled past. Now I'll wait for a time where our hearts will heave in sync, whilst I hold you tight where our tears will reach its brim but climb back in, but our bodies freeze at the act of unity of love, of this being the one, where our eyes will interlock beyond the lenses that carries the history behind its colored curve, where even a touch will cause a shift in our highest trajectory. This level of intimacy, one I desired more than I thought I did, more than I ever was ever needed. I have always been scared to declare what was in my essentials. The needs, the wants, the unwanted items all lay bare in this luggage. One carried along in my secret compartment, this weight heavier as my needs never measure up to the blocked reminders in your head. How about if this is too much to carry? When is the load too hard to hit? How about if I want you? How about if I've always wanted you? The whole you, flaws and all, where I smile and pack the burdens you carry because he carries them all. This level of intimacy is where I found myself thinking of the love I once desired. It was here that my slated heart laid at the comfort of your hands, this intimacy where our tongues united in a heavenly language, sending its own seismic wave. It was then one began to realize that it was into me you always saw, past the shattered glass house, past the pearled whites, past the warm embrace. There, you searched for the golden cracks, the one that turned you away from toxicity to masculinity. This touch sent a white blood cells to guard up and defend against the flare-like fluid that held you clogged. How to move from here, where our steps were no longer determined by our thoughts but his, where our ways clearly written in his word, where our levels of intimacy entwine into the only way he sees me, intimately.